absolute value, you guys have done this before, but it is about, so the absolute value of a real number, which is x, can be written between two bars. It is the distance from 0 on a number line. So absolute value is always, always, always what? Positive. Okay? So even if I have absolute value of positive x, my answer is x. The absolute value of negative x would be x. Okay? So let's say that x really is 5. The value of x, it could be 5 or it could be negative 5. I don't know, because if I have negative 5, my absolute value is 5. If I have positive, it is 5. So when we do these equations, we need to have two equations because we don't know whether it would be negative or positive. On your number line, the way you grab absolute value is a solid dot. There are no arrows to go left and right. Sorry.
No arrows.
No arrows. Nope. All right, let's practice. What I want you guys to do, get into a habit of it. You can either highlight or put a box around, different color, pencil, I don't care. But we always put a box around my absolute value. That reminds me of what I need to get rid of. So step 1 says, get the absolute value by itself. It is not by itself right now. What is beside that absolute value that needs to go away?
-3.
The plus 3 needs to go away. How does it go away?
Subtract it.
Thank you. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. So now I still have my absolute value of x is equal to what? 3. Alright, that's step 1. I do that all the time. Never put it at 0. Alright, step 2. To get rid of the absolute value bars, you want to set what is inside the absolute value bars equal to positive and negative. So, quick way of saying that is, once we get absolute value by itself, I split it up into two equations. My first equation, I drop the bars, and I keep my answer the same. So I just drop my bars on x, my 3 stays the same. My second equation, I drop the bars, and I take the opposite. What's the opposite of positive 3?
-3.
Yep. Okay, there's nothing else to solve here. Okay, so this is my answer. Nothing else to solve. Of course, you won't see one that's that easy. That's that easy, but that just kind of gives you the gist of it. Okay. Let's look at this one. It says, solve the following absolute value equations. Remember to check your answers for extraneous solutions. And plot the solutions on the number line. Extraneous solutions mean basically that all of our work is right, but the answer does not fit. Okay? So it's not your error. It just means that in the algebra world, it doesn't work. So for number 1, put a box around your absolute value bars. Is there anything to move from around the absolute value? Nothing. So I go ahead and I split it up. My first equation, I drop the bars, I keep my answer the same. Second equation, I drop the bars and I take the opposite, which would be -10. Do I have anything to solve here? No, I don't. That's my answer. Checking for extraneous solutions mean I'm going to take whatever solution I get, whatever answer, and plug it back into the original. So what is the absolute value of 10 is really what? It's 10, so that works. That's what we needed. On my second equation, the absolute value of -10 equals +10. That one works. We're just plugging it in to check. You guys don't have a number line because I forgot to give you one. But you can just draw it at the very bottom and write -10 and +10 and close dots.
It's always gonna be close dots.
Always. All right, number 2. Put a box around.
Yeah.
And then we're going to split. My first equation, I dropped the bars, so it's 3x equals -18. My second equation, we get 3x equals +18. All right, let's solve this one. Ronaldo, first equation, how do I solve? So x equals what? -18 divided by 3? -6. On the other side, I divide by 3, and x equals +6. What do we do next? Nope, we always skip this part. And check for trig solutions, okay? What'd you say? Yeah, so let's plug it back in here. So I have 3 times, some people can do this in their head. If you can, go for it. So my answer here was -6. 3 times -6 gives me -18. Is the absolute value of -18 -18? It is? It should be positive. That one does not work. Same with the next one. If I plug in the absolute value of +6 equals -18, I get 18 equals -18. Is that true? No. So this would be extraneous. You can just write EXT. What that means is, if we take a look at this original equation, the absolute value of 3x equals -18. If we know that absolute value is always positive, can it ever equal a negative number? No. Okay, so if you see that, you could save yourself all this work and just write no solution. It's never going to work. Okay? It doesn't matter if you have the absolute value of 5,000 is equal to -1 million. That's never going to happen. You're never going to have a negative number. So it's always going to be extraneous. If you don't see it right away, and you still do all the work, once you check, that's how you'll know it doesn't work. Does that make sense? Work smarter, not harder. If you see it equal to a negative, no, it's not true. All right, number 3. All right, so let's see your package over. All right, let's do number 3. We're going to hop around, and I'll let you guys work on your own for a couple. You okay?
Yeah.
All right. Long Monday. Is absolute value by itself? Is there anything else around my 2 bars? No, it's by itself. There's nothing else there. So I can immediately go ahead and split. Sonia, what's my first equation going to be?
2x.
And the second one? All right, the important part here is that you guys aren't changing what's inside the bars. When I say drop the bars, you're literally just keeping everything inside the absolute value sign the same.
Changing 5.
Yep, you're only changing what your answer is. It should be the opposite. Alright, so my first equation, 2x minus 1 plus or equals 5, what needs to go first?
My plus one.
The negative 1 needs to go first, and we do that by adding 1. So I have 2x equals 6.
Divided
Yep, and so x equals
3.
x equals 3. On my second equation, I add 1. So I have 2x is equal to negative 6. Divide by 2. And x equals negative 3. I'll show you guys how to check this on your calculators too. If you need one, go ahead and grab one. While I bring mine up. Alright, so let's take a look. On your calculators, if you want to check, some of you can do mental math here and just plug it in, you'd be okay. But let's go to math, over the number, hit enter for abs,
What you said, right?
math, over the number, enter for abs, that means absolute value. You see those two bars? We're writing inside of that. So,
Wait, what? What are you doing in math?
math over to number, and then enter. Good?
Yes.
Alright, instead of x, I'm going to write 3. So 2 times 3, which I put in parentheses, and then minus 1. That's what's inside my absolute value bars. I need to have the number 5. Does that work? Yes. If you want to do the same thing for negative 3, you can do second, enter, brings up the whole thing again. Or you can type it again. And I'm going to insert negative 3 minus 1.
7.
Is that right? Negative 6. Yeah, so it doesn't work. Wait, did I? Hold on.
I think you put.
I think I messed up on my math.
You did.
No one stopped me.
I believe it's supposed to be a 4.
It is. I'm sorry. Alright, so this should have been negative 4. We divide by 2, and we get negative 2. Negative 2 should work.
Well, I
What?
are we? Oh, never mind.
Number 3. So both of these work. Yeah, 2 times negative 2 is negative 1, minus 1, negative 5, absolute value is 5. Okay, but that's how we would check it, okay? I can also show you after this how to store in x as an answer, and then you can just write x and you'll be fine, but I'll show you that a little later.
Wait, so can the answer ever be wrong?
Yes, it can be. That's why you have to check, because sometimes you'll do everything right, and if it doesn't work, you plug it back in. Alright, number 4. I'm going to put a box around my absolute value. Should I move anything away from it? The 9. So we're going to add 9 to both sides. Before you can split, you need to make sure that you have everything away from your absolute value. If you split it from the beginning, your answer will be so wrong.
Number 7, when you
What?
know.
I will help you. Alright, so now absolute value is by itself, and I can split into 2. My first equation is 4 minus 3x is equal to 12. Second equation is 4 minus 3x is equal to negative 12. Be careful here because most people forget with our sides. It looks a little weird. But we're going to subtract 4 for each side. We have negative 3x is equal to positive 8. We're going to divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. X equals negative 8 over 3. You can put your negatives top, bottom, in front of, it doesn't matter. Our second equation, minus 4 minus 4, that cancels out. We're going to have negative 3x is equal to negative 16. Divided by negative 3. So x equals positive 16 over 3. Negative, negative cancels out.
Wait, so to be on that, we're dividing that together.
Okay, we're going to do number 7 together. And eventually I'll do all of them, but once I'm skipping, I want you to work on your own. So let's go to number 7 really quickly. This will be the last one we do for now. Alright, here's my absolute value. It is not by itself. Who's stuck beside it?
2.
That 2 is being multiplied, so how does it need to go away?
Divide.
Divided. Okay, so I cancel out my 2's. I have 3x minus 2 is equal to
7.
7. Now absolute value is by itself, so I can keep going. I'm going to separate. So I have 3x minus 2 is equal to 7. And then 3x minus 2 is equal to negative 7. If I want to solve, I have plus 2, and 3x is equal to 9. Divide by 3, so x equals 3. On the other side, I add 2, that cancels, so I have 3x is equal to negative 5. Divide by 3, so x equals negative 5 over 3. Are we okay with the algebra part of it, the bottom part? Okay, are we okay with knowing when to separate them? Are we okay with knowing how to get absolute value by itself? All right, I want you guys to work on
5, 6.
5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay?
Why didn't you do the like extra?
Oh, because I forgot. Sorry. You mean for this one, right? So if we had to check, let's plug in 3. 3 times 3 is 9, minus 2 gives me absolute value of 7. 7 times 2 is 14. So this one works. Negative 5 over 3, I need to cut again. Because I'm not doing that in my head. Gosh, where'd it go? Okay, so we have 2. Then math over the number, hit absolute value. Inside my absolute value, I have 3 times, put that in parentheses, negative 5 over 3. And then minus 2. Let's see if we get 14.
3.
Yep, so that one works. Yeah, because it was 3 times Or is 3x minus 2? Instead of x, I'll put in negative 5 over 3. If you guys have ever used the store button, it's right here. So it's like you press X, and then the STO button, which is above the word on, you hit that. So you're storing in, let's say we want negative 5/3, right? Hold on, let me put this up. Why is it not? Oh, okay, let's do our numbers first. So negative 5 divided by 3, store button for X, hit enter, and you get that, right? So then if I want to type in 2 times absolute value of 3x minus 2, instead of x, it's plugging in that number. You get the same thing. It's just that we stored in a number for x, as if you want to store it. Okay? So you guys take about 10 minutes, and then we'll go over the answers. All right, so number 5, what needs to go away from my absolute value? Yep. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. And I have the absolute value of x minus 5 is equal to 12. That's good so far? All right, did you split it up here? All right, so we have x minus 5 equals 12. X minus 5 equals negative 12. I have 5. Should make dark colors and light all the time. Like this. You guys get 17?
Yeah.
All right. And negative 7? All right, did those work when you typed it back in? 17 minus 5 is 12. Okay, this one works. The second one, negative 12, absolute value is 12 minus 6. This one works.
You know, one number that's on both.
For which one? You got one number how?
I got x equals 16 and x equals negative 6.
And you had like minus 5 plus 5? It must have just been like a mental error. You can double check your calculator. Everyone else is good on number 5?
Oh yeah, I didn't use my calculator.
Do that. Number 6, what'd you guys get? Did anyone just see that it was already negative 5 and immediately just wrote no solution?
And I did the whole problem.
Which is fine, but if we ever have absolute value by itself, it can never just equal negative 5. Now, if there's something else with it, you got to get rid of that first. If it's still negative 5, then it's still not going to work. Okay? Even if you did it, what'd you guys get? Like, which numbers didn't work?
Negative 2.
Negative 2 and 8? Yeah, this is no solution. Absolute value cannot be negative. All right, number 8. Absolute value is here. We're basically doing reverse PEMDAS at this point. What needs to go first, the 3 or the negative 1?
Negative 1.
Negative 1 needs to go first. So I add 1 to both sides. What I have left over is 3 times absolute value of x plus 2 is equal to 9. A common mistake, and I'm glad Carrie brought this up, we can never distribute into absolute value. Okay? So don't treat it like a parenthesis. You have to divide first. So now I'm going to divide by 3 on each side to get rid of this. So I have my x plus 2 is equal to 3. Are you guys good getting here? Yes? My first equation is x plus 2 equals 3. My second equation is x plus 2 equals negative 3. Subtract 2. x equals 1. Subtract 2, so that x equals -5. Did you guys get those answers? Positive 1, -5?
Hey, what number is this?
6.
Oh,
8.
that's it.
Sorry.
8?
Yep.
No, I
No,
know.
I got.
Where'd you make a mistake? Where did I make a mistake? You see it, Ronaldo?
You put 9 instead of 8.
Because we had to get rid of this -1.
Oh.
So I added 1 first, and that was 9. Then I had to divide by 3. Ryan, you see your mistake?
I didn't do it, but I understand it.
Okay. Does it make sense now?
Yeah.
And if I have to plug it in, let's see here, plug in 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9 minus 1 is 8. So this one works. And -5, get -3. Absolute value is +3 times. All right, both of these work. Any questions on number 8? Are you out? You leaving?
Woo, it's cold here.
Are you guys leaving?
I just don't know. He's sort of better diagonal, but it's like wet and hot.
All right, number 9.
Oh, it's not raining that much.
What needs to go? 3. The 3 needs to go because it is attached to my absolute value. So the 3 disappears, and we have x plus 4 is equal to 6. From here, Dennis, what do I do? Once I have absolute value by itself.
Taking the separation.
Yep, let's go ahead and split them up. X plus 4 equals 6. X plus 4 equals -6. So if I solve, I get x equals 2. If I solve the second one, I get x equals -10. You guys get those two answers?
Which one is that?
Are you following us?
I got 8. 9, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I got 8.
Alright, let's plug it in. Plus 6, absolute value of 6 is 6 times 3, 18. This one works. The next one, we get absolute value of -6, which becomes 6. This one works too. Okay. Last one, number 10. Did anyone actually do number 10? Tried it? Okay.
D.
This one gets confusing just because it looks a little weird.
He's the answer.
I gotta see.
I'll see, really. Alright, so absolute value is already by itself, so I split it. 1/2 x plus 3 equals 7. 1/2 x plus 3 equals -7. Over here, I'm going to subtract 3 first. So I have 1/2 x is equal to 4.
Then you divide the half.
Yes, then we are going to multiply by the reciprocal on both sides. 1/2, to get rid of that, we multiply by 2 on each side. The left side disappears, so x equals 8. That's one answer. On the other side, I minus 3. So I have 1/2 x is equal to 4. Multiply by 2 on each side. Wait, that's wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. Losing my mind. Negative 10. X equals negative 20. So my answer is, well, hold on, let's check it. Does it work?
Yes.
8, let's see here. Half of 8 is 4 plus 3. Yes, we get 7. And 20, half of 20 is,
Well, it's negative 20, isn't it?
why am I messing up so much today? It's crazy. Negative 20. Alright, half of negative 20 is negative 10. Plus 3, we get negative 7, but the absolute value is 7. So D is your right answer. A only has one answer, and we have 2. Now, if I were to check this, Carrie, and negative 20 didn't work, then I would just select A. But in this case, they both work, so they're both solutions.
Is that the lesson?
That's the lesson.
Okay.
All right, so